While the potatoes are cooking, let's go ahead and whip up some eggs. I'm going to crack the eggs on the side of the bowl, put my fingers in like that, crack them and let them fall in the bowl just like that. Now that we've got 6 eggs in the bowl, I'm going to take a fork. If you've got a whisk, you can use a whisk, but I prefer to use a fork. Just break the yolks up, stir it up pretty good. The key here is to get the yolks broken up without getting too much air whipped into it. We've got both pans on medium here. I'm going to start by throwing the sausages in the back here. No oil in the pan, nothing. Just sausages in the pan. We're going to let them cook for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then we're going to turn them over, let them cook another 2 minutes, and we're going to put a little water in there to keep them from burning on the bottom. In my front pan here, I'm going to swirl it with oil. You don't want too much oil in your frittata or it will get greasy. So we've got enough to sort of cover the bottom of the pan. Take my onions and my garlic, toss them in the pan. They should sizzle. Swirl those bad boys up a little bit. Alright, we're going to take the sausages and flip them over. They've got a little bit of color to them, which is just perfect. You don't want them to cook too long. Our pan here full of onions and garlic is starting to get a little brown. Onions are starting to get nice and golden. We got the garlic sizzling away here. I'm going to toss in the rest of the vegetables that we chopped up. And we're just going to let that cook for a couple of minutes. One of the things about cooking that you're going to learn is that, like everything else, it sort of takes patience. If you just let it sit, rattle it around a little bit, just let it sit. We'll come back to this in a minute. We're going to go ahead and turn these sausages over now. See that they're getting nice and brown on the other side as well. Let them cook another minute. They're not too dark yet. Our vegetables a little shake here. The key to this is you don't want to cook these too long. You don't want them to be soggy. You don't want them to be crunchy. 3 to 5 minutes. So we're gonna pour in a quarter of a cup of water in with these sausages just to keep them from getting too brown. They're good and thick. You want to get them cooked all the way through, and if you keep them in the pan dry like that, they will end up sort of getting a little too brown. But now they've got a little brown on them, they're going to cook in the water, everything will be good. We're going to stir our vegetables up one more time. As you can see, they have a really nice color. Green and red. And pour that yellow in there, you're going to get yourself something beautiful. It's like art. Alright, I'm going to throw a pinch of herbs de Provence in here. Squeeze them up nice and tight. This is just going to give it that little something extra. I'm going to turn these sausages over one more time. Vegetables are cooked soft. Not too soft, not too crunchy. They're just kind of in the middle. Kind of like al dente pasta, which is not too soft and not too hard. I'm going to go ahead and pour the egg mixture in here. The key to pouring the egg mixture in here is that you want to go ahead and make sure that it's all stirred. The egg mixture is good and stirred. If you get your spatula in there right away and get it stirred up, you'll be on your way. So you can see how beautiful this looks with the colors. It smells fabulous. We got sausage cooking in the background. Keep stirring. What you're looking for is to make sure there's no runniness at all left when you put the cheese on and pour this into put this in the oven. What you're looking for is sort of not quite solid, but just about solid. As you can see, the water is cooking off now and starting to brown up again. It'll leave like it'll leave a really nice flavor in there. As soon as there's no liquid left in the eggs at all, what you're going to want to do is take your cheese, sprinkle it around the top of this thing. Like such. We're going to take our frittata mixture and we're going to put it in the oven here right underneath of our potatoes. Okay. Alright, our sausages are nice and brown here. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off. I'm going to sit back there. They've cooked about 8 minutes, 10 minutes. When you cut them open, you want to make sure if they're chicken or pork, if there's nothing pink inside, you don't want to eat anything raw. You'll be surprised at how good that's going to taste. We're going to go ahead and take this bad boy out of here now. As you can see, it's nice and brown. The cheese is really melted. You've got just a touch of brown around the outside, which is just what you're looking for. Now the key to the frittata, the absolute key to the frittata, is we're going to let it sit here for 5 minutes before we cut it. Which is going to give us time to sort of get our plates ready, get our potatoes put together. The potatoes are going to cook another 2 or 3 minutes. All this should be done just about the same time. We'll plate it all up and we'll be good to go. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and take these potatoes out of the oven. You can see they're nice and brown on the top, they're cooking away, and they're perfect. So I've transferred all of this over to the cutting board here. I've got 2 sausages. I've transferred the frittata out of the pan. I let it sit about 5 minutes. What you want to make sure is that everything is set, the cheese is set. When you cut it, it doesn't break apart into a million pieces. What we're going to do here is we're going to take all of this nice looking food that we've cooked and we're going to plate it up so that it looks as beautiful on the plate as it does in the pan. This is really going to turn your sort of food into art. So I've cut the frittata in half. I'm going to go ahead and cut off a little wedge. Remember that a little bit of frittata is going to go a long way. Nice thing is that this is going to last, you know, a couple of days. I'm going to take it like this. I'm going to plop it down like a piece of pie. I'm going to take this sausage here. I have a bunch of. I'm going to take this sausage here, and I'm also going to cut the sausage in half. I don't like to put anything on the plate that's bigger than my schlong, so I'm going to cut this sausage in half like that so that no one gets offended. I'm going to take some potatoes here. I'm going to place them on the plate. You probably had a good, good workout last night. You can probably throw an extra 2 or 3 potatoes on the plate there. I like the plate to look full like such. I had some raspberries that I went and picked out of the garden. I'm just going to throw them on there to add a little bit of color to the plate. This is what ends up making art out of the whole deal. So, I hope you had a good night. I hope breakfast works out well for you. Good luck.